My brother has autism, so when I pick him up to go somewhere, I get there at 2:52 p.m. and I better not be drinking no Sprite while I'm driving. If you know, you know. Out of curiosity, I got on Google and I searched, are people with autism? And I looked at the search results and one of them said, are people with autism allowed to drive? And the answer is yes, people with autism are allowed to drive. They can drive. However, a lot of people with autism don't drive because driving is about more than just driving. Driving involves a lot of decision making, it involves a lot of judgment calls, and so it might be difficult to know, am I going fast enough to be able to safely make this left or right turn? Can I safely change lanes at this moment as this light is changing and this person is crossing the street? As I'm merging onto the interstate, is this driver slowing down so that I can get into their lane, or should I wait for them to pass before I get over? What do I do when there's construction? What do I do when there's an accident? What do I do when somebody's pulled over on the side of the road? All these unknowns, unpredictability in driving. When you get out on the road, you don't do the same thing the same way you did it yesterday. Also, all of the environmental stimuli, including the stimuli in the car. Like there might be some sensations in the car, something that the person is hearing or feeling that can be very distracting. And so these things can be overwhelming. It can cause a lot of anxiety and fear around driving. And so that might be a reason that someone with autism, even though they can drive, can learn to drive, choose not to, or they don't have the support to be able to help them learn to drive in these high-paced, high-stakes environments. Communication is another thing. So a lot of people with autism may struggle to communicate, whether they're verbal or nonverbal. So say you get pulled over, you get in an accident, it may be unclear to you what you're supposed to do. You may not be sure how to communicate what actually happened. You may not be able to say how you're feeling. And the last thing I wanted to talk about is that a lot of times people with autism take things very literally. See the beginning of this video. So say I get to a four-way stop and I get there after the other car and that person is waving me on to go, or they flash their lights at me. I may not know what that means. I may not know what to do with that information. All I know is I didn't get to the stop sign first and it's not time for me to go. So if you're one of those people wondering whether people with autism are allowed to drive, whether they can drive, why they don't drive, I hope this helps.